Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. G is here and I am back, keeping my third week streak here. Not like anybody cares, but for those who want me gone again, no luck for you. This episode unfortunately is very sad one. Sony Incognito landed new firmware update last week for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, which introduced DRM for the newly purchased digital games. Any digital purchase made March 2026 onwards. Things blew off quite big this week when notorious console hacker Lance McDonald found out in the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 latest updates that the new DRM checks were introduced with the digital game purchases, essentially making your PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 online consoles only. I know, it's time to bring out your pitchforks from your closets and hunt the Sony fuck down. You saw the intro, you're not scratching your eyes, and you heard it right. Yes, that's the porno sounds you hear out of your neighbor's house. Sony does not want you to own your digitally purchased games. But wait, Mr. G, you might say, how they can do that? Well, simply. Now every game you purchase digitally has 30-day online check-in counter, meaning if you're not going to connect to Sony service at least once in 30 days, your digitally purchased games will refuse to launch. But wait, Mr. G, you might say again, aren't we all have internet connections and living in the year 2026? And my answer would be yes, wise guy. But what about the preservation of the collection and piles of games you will own or already own on your PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5? Then Sony servers will shut down for your PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5 in the near future and you will feel nostalgic to bring it out your all good PS4 or PS5 out of the closet and connect it to the TV and just play for the sake of the good old times. Well, in this case, Sony says, fuck your good old times. Servers are dead, 30-day check-ins failed, and by dear gamer, none of your digital games now will work. Go buy them on the PlayStation 7 Neuralink Musk Edition, or whatever the hell they will call it.
Madness. This is madness!
What about the physical games, you might ask? Well, in a surprise fashion, physical games are not affected. Does Sony testing the waters for the digital-only future? Who knows? But put your tin hat falls on your heads for this. I really doubt Sony has sudden heart change and now moving towards physical media future, which I would be biggest fan of, but let's not be naive here. So Mr. G, you might ask again, why Sony did this? Did they overdo some of the fine Colombian coke or had too many sakes at once? Well, let me answer this for you. Recreational activities are not to be blamed for this. Fully. It was a long riding on the wall for years. Yes, Sony won the console war. And yes, Sony is an Nvidia of the home consoles. And yes, Sony has no real competition. Xbox console brand is pretty much dead and fusing with a PC gaming. And as history taught us, without the competition, you can do the fuck you want. But not only lack of competition is the problem here, but also Sony retarded decisions over the span of PlayStation 5 generation timeline what brought to this sacrilegious decisions. Sony is also now famous for burning millions in the air. You still probably remember the notorious launch of the Concord video game in 2024, which cost over 400 millions to develop just to be shut down 2 weeks after the release. Biggest flop in the entire gaming history, and this proud achievement goes to Sony. Live service games cancellations within 2023 and 2024. Sony was making like almost half of a dozen live service games within beginning of this decade, and all were cancelled, with a Conquer being prime example of a massive live service games flops. PlayStation entire brand over 3 decades was built on a mega single-player blockbusters, bringing Sony to the top of the gaming world, just for Sony to decide that live service games was the PlayStation future. Who could have thought things will go wrong, right? Sony just burned around $500 million alone in the last 3 or 4 years on the failed live service projects, and not counting on insane Bungie studio acquisition worth of around $4 billion, which in return gave Sony so far nothing. All this money burning is leading Sony to lose few brain cells and to some rookie level mistakes. For example, PlayStation 5 prices are unbelievably laughable. To remind you, PlayStation 5 launched in disc-free edition in late 2020 for $400, and with a disc drive edition costing $500, and souped up PlayStation 5 Pro version launched at the end of 2024 for ridiculous $700 price tag. Almost 6 years later, now PlayStation 5 Digital Edition costs $600, $200 more than the launch price, and PlayStation 5 Disc Edition costs $650, $150 more than the launch price, and PlayStation 5 Pro costs stupidly laughable $900, $200 more than the launch price. Can someone explain to Sony how the consumer electronic goods appreciation works? Usually, 6-year-old consoles go down in price, not up. So, Mr. G, you might say again, what we going to do now? And I have a simple answer to you. We're going to fuck Sony, where it hurt most. Not the way your naughty mind was thinking about, but more practical way. We will fuck them with our wallets.
I implore you think about this.
I am imploring you to stop purchasing any digital games on your PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5 consoles. Do not be a sim. You are better than that. You can survive without Sony. Hell, there are alternatives like Steam. You don't like PC gaming? Hell, you can move to Xbox or Nintendo. Maybe not Nintendo. We'll cover them in the future videos. Maybe competition don't offer better alternatives to your favorite games, but for sure at least we will not require you to connect permanently to the internet to have access to your own games or charge insane prices for their consoles. And remember this video where Sony mocked Xbox for the online always Xbox One feature?
This is how you share your games on PS4. Thanks.
You die as a hero or live long enough to become a villain. If you liked this video, please click thumbs up and subscribe. I implore you. If not, Sony will snatch all your own games. Not kidding. Hope you enjoyed the video. Mr. G signs out.